Okay. Good afternoon, evening, good night.
What about morning?
Oh, no one watches this in the morning.
Really? I'd watch it in the morning, you know, I'm getting ready for work. Just feel like hearing something, you know.
No, I hear enough talking from my boss. I don't need to hear it from you in the morning. I don't.
I am your boss.
When you look at us, do you think that this is the boss? Or do you think that this is the boss?
Well, I'm older, smarter, and better looking, so...
But I pay for everything. Interesting.
Oh, so we're not getting funded by the OEA, we're getting funded by you?
Yeah, we are. We are getting funded out of the pocket of a young, handsome black male. Me. So far, we haven't gotten funded from anyone else.
Application for new co-host.
Application for new co-host. I'm the boss.
Looking
I
for
put it out.
Attractive white female. Add some diversity. Because, you know, not enough going around.
How many times you could ask for a white person?
That's white and it's a female. It's a double whammy.
Okay, so I asked for a young Afrocentric young man, and you asked for a Caucasian, Snow White, Lily White female. I feel like we have a good dynamic working here. But I mean, I would prefer his co-host, but I was just trying to be politically correct. You know what I mean?
I thought I was being politically correct by taking the female Caucasian.
No, that's BBC correct.
That's not what went through my head when you said that. But either way, how you guys doing today?
So, we can't really discuss too much in the news because most of it is not really topics we would cover, and
it's either it's all boring or we'll get sued if we talk about it.
Wouldn't say boring because you know everything in our country is awesome sauce, but I will say that it's not exactly topics that we would cover, and we'll get sued doing anything else. So, for defamation, as somebody put on the page. So, lovingly.
Hey, Dwayne. Oh, I got to use your fake name, but everyone knows you want, so it doesn't matter. I don't see Christopher famous. Been about 2 weeks now. Still ain't been on the show.
Yeah.
Ain't been in the comments either.
Nope. I guess I read one of his articles. It's taking a more neutral approach to things now.
I thought he was trying to be gung ho, trying to get a political PLP seat.
Well, I mean, I would like somebody from as a supporter of the union or a supporter of the PLP to come on the show and just, you know.
Yeah, but we invited him. He didn't want to come out from the safety of his keyboard.
Well, regardless.
He wanted to just sit there hiding behind the skirts of his computer.
Regardless, we're gonna kick into our topic today, which is gonna be quite controversial. I'm sure
everything we talk about is controversial. I can say the sky is blue when people get mad at me.
Yeah, I feel like when I say the title, everyone's gonna go, but it's called the slave mentality. Everyone's like, what?
Get your torch and your pitchforks.
Let me explain what I mean by this. We, first of all, are super pro-black, but we're also pro-Bermuda. We're pro-people. Mm-hmm. So when I say what I say, I mean in the context of the mentality that we passed on from generation to generation since slavery. And that mentality has originated from slavery, since before that we were kings and queens and scientists and astrologers and master farmers. So it's new.
Well, we were.
Yeah.
Although no one seems to actually know much about that, because nobody wants to do their own digging. I saw a guy walking around the street the other day with a shirt that said, "Oh, I'm an African king." I'm like, "Oh, who's your favorite African king?" He said, "Oh, Pharaoh." I'm like, which one? Ramses the First? Ramses the Second?
You have a lot of Ramses.
Hatshepsut? Was Nefertiti a pharaoh?
Mm-hmm, a female one.
The Ptolemies, even though the Ptolemies were white. Cleopatra was white people. Sorry to put that out, but she was Greek.
Yeah, she was.
And we all just said, "Oh, she could have had a newbie mother." Nah, her mom was like her aunt or something like that. That's some Game of Thrones stuff back then.
Yeah,
they kept that Macedonian race pure. But either way, we digress. I'm getting into my I'm going back into history teacher mode.
But the thing is, with that being said, this mentality that we have passed on to our people and passed on to our children is indeed enslaving them. Because if you look at the dissension of our people as far as pop culture, as far as pursuing businesses, as far as applying for stuff, applying themselves, or just generally caring about any topic or situation, you notice that it is a deterioration in that aspect. And I personally, and my co-host agrees.
I do.
You do. We agree on everything.
We do not. That is a lie.
Well, okay, not quite not anything actually, but
continue. Proceed.
We have instilled in our people this handicap, and it's a mental handicap, because we basically always grow up assuming that society is against us. We grow up assuming that opportunities are not afforded to us that are afforded to others. And I feel like this is a place that many races have been in. This is a place that many people are in, as far as folks with Down syndrome and autism. You know, there's a lot of people born with things that society might say was a handicap. But what actually is a handicap? You know what I mean? It's like people with autism and ADHD or any of these things.
I'm ADHD.
Yeah. It depends on how you instill this mentality in them of whether they can still achieve things that people who do not have these handicaps can as well.
Some kids I know that have been labeled as autistic are some of the smartest children I've ever seen.
Exactly.
It even goes beyond that. It's not even just the slave mentality. It really is like, and I see this problem with Bermudians in not only just the political arena, but in even social, dating, friendships, interaction with people. Too many Bermudians always assume that whatever's going on, there has to be some form of ulterior motive in the background. Like, if I hold the door open for a girl, I'm just holding the door open for her. I'm not doing it to do anything. I'm just doing it because that's how I was raised. My mom and my daddy, they said, you know, when someone comes, open the door for them. So open the door. One girl was like, oh, what, you trying to look at my tail? I'm like,
I didn't need to open the door to do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's always, and especially in the political arena, like whenever one politician says this, or when one politician says this, on both sides, if David Brett says something, somebody from the OBA would be like, he's got something on the side tucked away that he's gonna get ready to spring on everybody. Or if Michael Dunkley comes on and says something, he's like, you know what, he's trying to put us down, but we can't see it right now. He's just got some sort of special look. Like, why can't people just do stuff for the sake of doing it?
Yeah. And it's not like we're denying the fact that we have as you said several times, that we have a legal system and a...
It's not a fair legal system, no.
No, it's biased towards us. And of course we have a business climate that also isn't as inviting to us as it probably should be. But again, what we black folks have to realize is that we are just starting this race. We are 500 years behind. Our ancestors came out without being able to read, without being able to write, and still managed to make something of themselves. But at the same time, you have generations upon generations of Caucasian folks who have already had this baton passed to them. You can't necessarily blame them for having the baton passed to them, or having a family that supported them and put them in a position where they can pivot themselves into success. What we need to do is start doing that for our family.
Yeah, pass the torch one. Instead of the Dutch, let me ask you something. How many times you heard, oh, you don't know nothing about the struggle?
All the time.
How many times all I'm ever heard about is the struggle? Oh, you don't know what us black people going to do back in the day. I'm like, I do. I have parents. I have grandparents that have told me stories about these things.
Heck, walking into the store, some guy would tell you, young man, you should be appreciative of what we've done and da-da-da-da. And I mean, this is just growing up. All young people have that story where there's always some guy in the neighborhood that comes and teaches you about, you know, touches you in the taps you and says, hey young man, it's so nice to see black man like you doing this or doing that. And you know, we were raised, our generation was raised in hearing about it. That's all we ever heard about.
Oh, the classic, oh, you lot got it easy nowadays, you lot got it easy nowadays, you grew up back in the day, oh, you lot don't ever know what it's like to work a full day's work. I'm like, you don't know anything about me.
Yeah. And also, keep in mind that we pay in tuition what some of y'all pay for mortgages in your house.
True. I mean, I do think that that a big problem in Bermuda is, well, as well as the world, but we're going to talk about Bermuda because we're Bermudians. A big problem with Bermuda is that the older generation, not everybody, but some members of the older generation feel that, like, because they're way up here, nobody that's younger than them will ever compare or will ever go through or whatever to deal with what they had to deal with. Like, I hear from so many older people that I don't know what it's like to work a hard day's work. I don't know what it's like to go through struggle. I don't know what it's like to do whatever. First of all, anybody that's been on a rally knows what a hard day's work means.
Exactly.
Because, let me tell you something. Talk to me when you're sitting there like 100-something degrees in the Nicaragua sun building toilets for a village up in the mountains.
That's right. We both spent 3 months doing community service.
3 months. Best 3 months I ever had. Loved it. Want to go back?
I spent mine in the Indian bush. So in southern India, in Kerala district. So
wow. I was in a Chuapa, Nicaragua.
Yeah. And the thing is,
was that a Chuapa?
Yeah. But the thing is, with that being said, you have a generation that they say they do it all for us.
But then they bash over the head with it.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so you're fighting for our rights, but then in the same turn, it's, the millennials, they don't stand for anything. Or this generation, they just allow anything to happen. This generation this generation that. But the thing is, it's not that we don't stand for anything. It's just that we don't stand for what you stand for. We have our own battles to fight in our generation.
Rather than like bashing us over the head with like it really is like it's a club that they used to hit us with. It's like, listen, let me get my struggle stick and hit you with this so you can have some knowledge. That's not how it works. That's not how any of it works. Nope. Listen, you cannot say that we don't know anything about the struggle. And even dialing it back to our last episode, you cannot say that we're privileged or that we know this because, or that we don't know this or whatever. Because frankly, let me ask you something. How many dinner times did you have in the Robinson house?
None.
How many times did you sit at the cannoneer table?
None.
When I was living with my mother, how many times did you come sit at the pyramid table? I don't remember none of you lot in my upbringing. So how the hell are you gonna tell me I'm privileged and I don't know what's going on when you don't know shit about my life?
Sugar, honey, iced tea.
Sorry. Either way, you don't know. So don't tell me I'm privileged. And don't tell me I don't know nothing about the struggle. And don't tell me that I'm entitled or whatever, because you don't know. You don't know nothing about him. You don't know nothing about me.
That's right. And think about what you're doing to the generations behind you. You're crippling them because you raise them with them thinking they have no way out. And that is something that is instilled in them by you. By you telling your children that this society has nothing for black people and this society has no opportunities for young black males is exactly why we perpetrate this thing in our society where we are out here killing each other in the street every single
for YouTube views.
Yeah, it's like one of us is being killed by the other, and I'm talking about worldwide, globally. One of us is being killed by the other almost every 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Probably more than that.
Just in Chicago. So it's like,
you mean Chirac?
Yeah. So I'm saying we are looking to put this on our children where it's like, okay, you have a young black male and he says, oh, why do I even try on this test? Because society is just gonna handicap me anyway, or why should I go out and apply for this job? Because this white boy is just gonna get the job anyway, so I might as well just not even bother.
Like dialing back to what Dutch said earlier about passing the torch, passing the baton. We're not passing the torch to the baton, we're passing the yoke that's been carried onto the younger shoulders. And what even dials it to an even bigger problem is when you do that to young people, why are they even going to try? I was raised with my parents teaching me. Now, I grew up with my mother. My parents were divorced, so I grew up with both of them, dad, someone's mom, the rest of the time. And both of my parents, we had very different dinner conversations, but both of my parents instilled in me that I could do whatever I wanted to do. They told me that the system is not fair. It's not. And you will have to fight harder, but you can still do whatever you want to do.
That's right.
And that mentality is in short supply down here because some people's like, oh, I've got to go college so I can do this, so I can do this, so I can do this, just so I can come back, pay $100,000 student loans, pay this, and not get the job I'm qualified for.
That's right.
That's why a lot of people don't go to college. I didn't go to college. Not because I didn't want to do it, just because school's not for me. The education system does not work for everybody. It doesn't. I mean, Albert Einstein said that if you judge a tree, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it's going to grow up forever thinking that's stupid. Everybody's smart at something. It might not be school. So if your kid's not good at school, find what they're good at, push them in that direction. Now, diving back to my last point, because, ADD kicks in and I digress. When you tell a child that, oh, you don't know nothing about the struggle, oh, the system's not fair, oh, you're never going to be able to get what they get because they have this and they have this. A, that child's going to grow up thinking that. And B, that child's going to grow up not being able to think for themselves. We have an alarming amount of young people that cannot think for themselves, which is why me and Dutch over here do what we do. So when you got a bunch of students that are afraid to challenge their parents or their grandparents over their opinions, respectfully. No, I mean, you don't when I say challenge, if you can't challenge your parents on something, then I'm sorry, but you got some iffy parents.
Yeah.
If you got an issue that is a logical issue with something that you believe in, let's say a young child believes in gay marriage. They believe in gay marriage. They say this is why we should have it. They're just gonna bash so many people are just gonna bash them over the head. Say, yeah, that's wrong. You can't have that. Why? That's what they believe.
But look at the difference of mentality. I mean, it's a pro and con to both sides. But if you look at the difference in mentality, it's like I'm not gonna speak. I'm just speaking very generally right now. But if you look at a young Caucasian person, right, coming up in a house, typically they are cultivated from young to become successful, all right? And that's a good thing. That's what a parent should do. Typically, they do sailing academy, or they or something, gymnastics or something like that, right? I'm not saying just white people do it, of course, but it's this culture of they cultivate the child and support them up until they can support themselves. However, if you talk to a lot of black people, we come from households that are broken. And a lot of times we grow up supporting our parents. And I mean, I hate to say it like that, but it's just we grow up having to pay rent or, to contribute to the house. But it's like, okay, and then after that, after you paid all that money, who's got money to send you to school? Who's got money to send you to university? Who's got money to send you here, send you there? What skills have you picked up as a young black male? Like, have you took another language? Have you done an extracurricular activity that isn't football or cricket? Like, or basketball? Have you actually? Yeah, of course.
Really?
My brother's on the team, and
little man.
Yeah, you better believe it.
Okay.
He's out there stunting on these people. But the thing is, it comes down from that mentality. So when we come into this workforce, guess what? Our resume is pale in comparison. Unless you have young go-getters, which we do in our black community. We have young go-getters that go and get it themselves. But at the same time, but the general populace is, you look at the resume and you have John, who is a young Caucasian male who's probably comes from a family of folks that are not necessarily rich, but well off, or at least well sorted for his future or budgeted. He comes up and he has a resume of, he worked with his godfather here, and he wants to go for a sailing degree. His lawyer got the sailing experience and all of that done. And then you have a black comedian, he comes up and he's got a high school diploma, but that's about it. You see what I'm saying?
That's all I'm got.
So it's like, you're looking at these resumes and it's like, how are we making our people more competitive? How are we conditioning our people to be go-getters and to go out there and take a risk and build businesses that can hire your own people and anyone who's qualified? Not just your own people, but anyone who's qualified.
But it even goes back to those Bermudians that do go to school. Let me ask you something. Young viewers, how many Bermudians your age do you know that want to stay here?
I don't know too many.
Because now I didn't graduate from school in Bermuda. I graduated in the States, but my class in Bermuda, I think I could count on my hand how many of them are still here.
Yeah.
They went away, got the degrees, and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna stay out here.
That's right. Opportunity.
Now, that's a problem because more and more young people are leaving. How many young people are like, you know what? I'm gonna go England. I'm gonna go America. I don't want to be here anymore because either A, what they want to do is not supported by Bermuda. B, they feel that they don't have a chance down here. Or C, they just want to escape that mentality.
Yeah, or D, they're barely mentioned in the political arena. Like, I mean, if you look at both sides, it comes down to airports, it comes down to the struggle, oppression, white supremacy, or senior citizens, right? But at the end of the day, senior citizens are important, but you also have to take care of the generation coming up that is going to support them. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if you want new senior care centers, we gotta pay for it.
See, I have this problem with both political parties, but there's not enough emphasis on us.
Or innovation.
That's the thing, and especially with both parties, actually. I can't say anything. I can't say that either of them, but both parties kind of, for me, drop the ball when it comes to young people, because it's like, how are we supposed to connect with the PLP? When all we see and all we hear is the old Bermudians bashing us over the head saying we don't know nothing about the struggle, or we're doing this for you lot.
Yeah.
But most young people support gay marriage. Mm-hmm. The PLP does not. And the old Bermudians definitely don't support gay marriage. Don't even mention that to them. What? They'll chew your head off and smack you with the Bible.
Yeah, because
twice.
They feel like we have to keep this country the way it is. And that's always been the issue. It's not innovative. It's not moving forward.